2024 was a great year for speedrunning for me. I didn't get to run as many games as I would like to have run, but we did get a personal best in 7 games, 2 of which were world records. I did lose a world record last year too. Let's go over everything I've accomplished last year in speedrunning. If you know me, you know I love speedrunning Contra, and it's my default speedrun. If I don't know what to work on or need a break from other speedruns, I will usually default to running Contra any % on the original NES. Starting in 2024, we had a 1009. We dropped it down to a 1008 earlier in the year. 1008, we saved a second! Then we got a run that saved even more time. Though the first half of the run wasn't the best, I didn't have the mash down. We did get a double glitch. There we go. A really good snowfield, which is hard for me to beat now in any of my future runs. JJ even played nice for us, letting us complete the run in 10 minutes and 3 seconds. 10:03. Not a sub 10, but I'm happy. Getting a sub 10 in Contra is really difficult, but it is one of my goals for 2025. I just need to clean up a lot of little things on my runs, including the base routes. I really enjoy Ninja Gaiden as a speedrun. It's fast-paced just like Contra, and it has its own issues you need to deal with. Oh, or that. Come on, jeez. I started 2024 off with a time of 12 minutes and 48 seconds. It's a gold and a PB. My goal in Ninja Gaiden is to get what they call a ninja license. It's a title the speedrunning community adopted if you get a time under 12 minutes and 30 seconds. After learning how to do the Janet boost, improving some of my boss fights, and working on my cancel/mash, good kill, I ended up with a time of 12 minutes and 33 seconds. Tail took forever. That's so close to sub 12:30. That is a PB for me. That's an actual PB by like 15 seconds. I don't know why I stopped running Ninja Gaiden when I was so close to my ninja license, and I'd like to get back to it this year. I'd also like to learn low percent and the pacifist route, but that's going to take a lot of work, so this might be the year of Ninja Gaiden for me. I love the Mega Man games, and I've always wanted to learn the Mega Man 2 speedrun, so I decided to start learning the zipless category. Starting from scratch, we learned the route. This stage is so scary. What order to fight the bosses? I was like, where's Metal Man? I didn't think about it. And where to use your items. Go! Our first submitted time, speedrun.com, was 35 minutes and 5 seconds. 35:05. Cleaning up parts of our run, we were able to get it down to 33 minutes and 59 seconds. Well, it's a sub 34, even with my menuing. My original plan was to get a sub 35 time, and to get something under 34 minutes felt really great. I will continue to work this one down and continue to learn it, and hopefully maybe I'll get something closer to 30 minutes. I also want to learn the any percent category because the zips look really fun. Whee! The Discord group Board Boosters picks games that don't really have a lot of runners on the leaderboards. One month, they picked the game on the SNES, The Ignition Factor. Now, I didn't know this game very much, but it's a firefighting game where you have to fight fires, save people, and try to get out of the building before it burns down. Being that I call myself CombustibleDan, I just felt like I had to run the game. It just made sense. I actually really liked the game. Yeah, movement took a little bit to get used to, but the speedrun is pretty straightforward. Though my time was nowhere near the top of the board, I was happy with a time of 23 minutes and 32 seconds. Sub 24. I'm happy with that. I'll definitely join in on some of the other board booster runs. It's a great community, and it's usually a lot of fun. 2024 was the 25th anniversary of Dreamcast. Dreamcast is one of the systems that I really enjoyed. In fact, when I went out to buy a console, I ended up buying that one over the Nintendo 64. The Discord group Sega Crew recently held an event for the 25th anniversary of Dreamcast. Being that I'm a big fan of Evil Dead the movies, and the game itself was...
Press the friggin' start button, would ya?
Interesting, I thought I had to run it.
Come get some.
I wanted to make sure it was represented in an event. I'm pretty optimistic when it comes to speedrunning, and sometimes I just jump in without thinking. I looked at the leaderboards for Evil Dead, and I saw that the world record was about 33 minutes, so I thought to myself, well, I could probably run it under an hour, so I signed myself up for an hour time slot.
I'll swallow your soul!
And then I realized, I never really looked at the speedrun, and I haven't played the game since college. I better start learning to run. I immediately realized how bad the controls could be, getting stuck on everything. Oh, I'm not in the right position. Get off, get off. Get on the stairs. Luckily, I was able to get better, and our first submitted time was 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 5 seconds. Eventually, I was able to get the runs down below an hour, ending up with a time of 50 minutes and 41 seconds. We did it! Now, I'm not sure if I'll go back to this one, but I really did enjoy learning it and showcasing it for the Sega Crew event. World records. Now, the next two games I did get the world record in, but I don't really speedrun for world records, and the leaderboards for them are not full of many runners, and the times that I've gotten are beatable. But I'm still very proud of these two runs. The first one's Popful Mail for the Sega CD. Sega CD was one of my favorite consoles as a kid. Seeing live action mixed with video games, seeing that as a kid, I was like, this is the future! And I was just impressed and blown away by the games for it. So I wanted to speedrun games on the console that was very influential to me as a kid. Looking over the games, I found Popful Mail, a mix of all the things I love: anime, side-scrolling action, working designs. The original world record of the US version was almost 5 hours long. The Japanese release had a world record that was around 1 hour and 20 minutes. I thought, shouldn't you be able to speedrun the US version as fast as you could the Japanese version? I didn't know why there was such a difference between the two times. Apparently Working Designs wanted to make the game harder, so they made the damage that the characters do less, and they made the damage that the enemies and bosses do more, and they made things cost a lot more, and this is why there was such a difference between times. In the Japanese release, you could buy an amulet that cost 100 gold, and it would basically make you invincible for a short amount of time. So then you could just buy a bunch of them and run through the final stages of the game without taking any damage. In the US release, Working Designs decided to increase the cost of the amulets to 1,500 gold and make it harder to buy them in bulk like you could on the Japanese release. So you couldn't run through the final stages. I had to learn how to optimize my purchases and items while learning to get through the game and boss fights without taking too much damage, since I skipped grinding for buying armor. I was able to work the time down, first submitting a time of 3 hours and 20 minutes.
I don't know when to split.
Then we got down to 2 hours and 20 minutes, and finally submitting the final time, which is the world record currently for the US version of 1 hour and 43 minutes.
Sub 1 hour and 45 minutes.
I really enjoyed the speed run, and it's a great game to play casually, even if the jokes didn't hold up over time.
God runs into many strange elves and dwarves. They even make French people seem normal.
Now this speedrun I am really proud of. There has never been a human to complete Super C Pacifist. And to be honest, it seems almost impossible. But it could be done. And to prove that, I decided I wanted to start routing the Pacifist route using the Konami code. The Konami code in Super C is different than Contra. Unlike the 30 lives you get in Contra, Super C only gives you 10 with the code. Even though you get more lives, Pacifist is still very difficult to complete. Oh, we made it! Stage 7 is especially tough. It can use all 10 lives just to get through, and you need to take an intentional death in order to get through with your iframes to get by some of the enemies. Being that it was a new category, we could have adjusted the rules to make it easier, but I wanted to make the rules of Super C Pacifist similar to the rules of Contra Pacifist, and in there, you have to take an intentional death to get by the tanks. You can't destroy the tanks. I felt these enemies in Stage 7 were similar to that.
Did we make it?
Yes. Then you still needed to have a few extra lives to get through the alien eggs. And if you make it through all that, you'd have to fight the Stage 7 boss, which is really tough. You can't hit any projectiles, so you have to keep dodging until you can line up your shot. There are a lot of other hard moments in the Super C Pacifist run, but the Stage 7 boss was the wall for me.
Come on, setting myself up.
I just had a hard time getting past it. It was really difficult for me. Eventually I was able to beat it and get through the Stage 8, which has its own tough moments.
I got press start.
Getting the first world record of Super C Konami Code Pacifist.
We got it.
With a time of 24 minutes and 7 seconds. Because I was the only one that did this, they did create a spot on the board, which of course gave me the world record according to speedrun.com. Now eventually I would like to get back to Super C Pacifist and try to beat it without the Konami code, but that would be incredibly hard. Like I said earlier, almost impossible, because you cannot die at all through the entire game. Oh, come on. Ah, nope. Yep. So you get enough extra lives to make it through stage 7.
Death there, that should put us down to the boss.
So you can have 1 life left to fight the boss. If you die once, the game is over. The run is over. You have to have a completely perfect 6 stages of the game to get through it. Otherwise, you have to start over. And I'm not ready for that type of disappointment. Now, I did lose the world record in Contra Pacifist. I worked really hard to develop my own route for the run, and after almost 1,000 attempts, I finally got a completed run.
I did it!
Now this year, King Koopa came along and got a time of 14 minutes and 37 seconds. I would like to go back to Contra Pacifist and see how low I can get my time. I don't think I'll ever be able to beat King Koopa's time, but I'll try. Live the pacifist life. If you'd like to see me try to improve times in these and many, many other games, you can follow me on Twitch as CombustibleDan or right here on YouTube. Thanks for watching my recap of my 2024 speedruns.